Okay, all of you can see my screen now. So we are going to,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so we are going to start with the conditions and warranties, which is the in continuation to the introduction of contract of sale. So within Sale of Goods Act, when the parties enter into the contract, so there are certain specifications, certain terms and conditions which needs to be followed. So when we talk about the Sale of Goods Act, within Sale of Goods Act, first prerequisite is that a particular situation must be in form of contract of sale, right? So within first chapter we have discussed in detail that what are the prerequisites for contract of sale, how it will be formed, what are the essential, under what circumstances it will be considered as sale, under what circumstances it will be considered as agreement to sell. Along with that, we have discussed the meaning of goods, type of goods, requirement of consideration, and also we have discussed that if the goods parrots, then how the particular loss will be borne by the seller and the buyer respectively. And also we have discussed in detail the different situations, circumstances wherein the situation exists in form of sale or agreement to sell. So सबसे पहली हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट है सेल ऑफ गुड्स एक्ट की, जो हमारी कंडीशंस है, राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज हैं, उन सब की एप्लीकेबिलिटी के लिए जो सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल के फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट करना है. तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल की जितनी भी रिक्विजिट्स हैं, all the requisites needs to be fulfilled, right? So once it is done, then the next step is the different circumstances, the different rights and duties of the seller and the buyer. So the next topic, when we talk about the conditions and warranties, it talks about the terms, the requirements or the conditions which needs to be fulfilled for the performance of the contract, needs to be fulfilled for the performance of the contract. So when we talk about the contract, we are talking about contract of sale in this particular situation. So when we talk about conditions and warranties, so conditions जो है अगर एक पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती, देन बायर get the right to set aside the contract. Buyer get the right to set aside the contract. So even if he has made the payment, even if he has given the money, he will have the right within the preview of law to get back that money. And in case of warranties, if the warranties are not fulfilled or not completed, then buyer can claim damages only. He cannot set aside the contract and he cannot, claim the money back. So this is the basic rule, or we can say that the requirement that again along with this right, we are going to understand that conditions and warranties are there. So we have to understand कि एक particular contract के अंदर, एक particular circumstances के अंदर वो term, वो requirement जो है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की, वो कंडीशन है या वो वारंटी है. सो इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन द इंटेंशन ऑफ द पार्टीज at the time of entering into the contract while formation of the contract. But this thing we have to remember very clearly कि अगर वो circumstances, वो terms और requirement condition के form में exist करते हैं और the conditions are not met or the conditions are not fulfilled, conditions have not been met or not fulfilled, then in that particular situation, the buyer has the right to set aside the contract. and whatever money has been paid, he will get the money back in the particular situation. But if a particular term or particular requirement exists as a warranty, then in that case, buyer cannot set aside the contract. Buyer can claim the damages only for non-fulfillment of warranties. So here we start with that when we talk about the contract of sale, the contract of sale can be subject to certain terms and conditions. Right? And these terms and conditions can be conditions as per the meaning of law or can be warranty as per the meaning of law. So उस सिचुएशन में हमें ये देखना है कि जब वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंटर हुआ है तो वो टर्म और कंडीशन कंडीशन के फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट करती है या वारंटी के फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट करती है, और अगर कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं हुई तो बायर के पास राइट आ जाता है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को सेट असाइड करने का, और अगर वारंटी फुलफिल नहीं हुई तो बायर सेट असाइड नहीं कर सकता उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को. सो फॉर दैट रीजन वी हैव टू understand. And when we talk about the conditions and warranties, so conditions can be express conditions which are given by the buyer himself about the product, or these can be implied conditions which are given by the law, or which we can contract of sale or sale of goods act. Right? So these implied conditions are given. And if we when we talk about the warranties, warranties can also be express or implied. So in this chapter we are going to understand that what are the conditions and warranties, what is the meaning of condition and warranty, how we can differentiate between the two, and which one are the implied conditions and warranties given by the law, and whether breach of condition can be treated as breach of warranty or not. So in this particular circumstances we have to understand all these things. So when we talk about the conditions and warranties, express or implied, so we have to understand that what are the conditions given by the buyer at the time of formation of the contract. So whether a particular circumstances is a condition or warranty, it would depend upon the intention of the party that when they are entering into the contract. A very simple example I can see here, that A went to a stationery shop and specifically asked for red color pen. Now in this particular situation, when A is buying the goods and asking the seller to provide red color pen, so here the red color is a condition that is known as the main purpose or the central idea for entering into the contract, and if that idea is not fulfilled, it would defeat the purpose of entering into the contract, defeat the purpose of contract. So this particular red color is called as condition. See, A is we can say a teacher, and he needs a red color pen to mark the sheets, right? So red color is the basic condition for buying the pen, and this particular condition, if not been fulfilled, then A can set aside the contract and can demand his money back, right? So in this situation, we'll discuss further that how the particular conditions are there, or what are the other prerequisites are there which needs to be fulfilled. So in this case, the red color is the condition. Now, take another example that A doesn't require the pen for the evaluation. So, A says that I need a good ball pen. Now, a pen is provided by the seller, right? But this particular pen is not as good or as fine as the buyer expected. But in this particular case, A can return the pen and ask for a better one. Or if he has used the pen, then he cannot return. So in daily life, we come across these kind of example. But in this particular case, when we talk about good ball pen and pen is there, so if seller has given instead of blue, he has given the black ink pen, but it is a good one. So in this case, the black ink is not the pre-requirement, or we can say that the prerequisite or the essential idea which would defeat the purpose. So seller has given a pen which writes in black ink, that's okay. A can use the pen, but A cannot set aside on the ground that I have asked a good ball pen and you have given me the black ink, because the color specification has not been given. But if it would have been in the above case that he has asked for a red color ink, but he has been given the black color pen, then in that particular case, the seller has the buyer has the right to return the goods. Now here you can ask me a question that, ma'am, that when we talk about the color, so A can himself check that the whether the pen is of red color or not, or why he has made the payment. There can be a circumstances that he has ordered over a phone and the goods have been delivered at his place. Then, in this situation, the payment has already been made, the goods will be returned, and the payment can be taken back if the goods are not replaced. So, that can be the situation. So, this circumstances or all these conditions we will discuss in the implied conditions as well. So, when we talk about the condition means that term or requirement which is the central idea or basic condition for formation of the contract. So now let's come to our presentation and discuss the meaning. It says that the terms of the contract which forms the part of the contract can be condition or warranties. So conditions are those terms of the contract which constitute the central idea of the contract or are so essential to its very nature that non-fulfillment may fairly be considered as substantial failure to perform the contract at all. It means that whatever condition or whatever requirement we are talking about, it is of vital importance. और अगर वो फुलफिल नहीं होती तो जो पर्पस है हमारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आने का या गुड्स को परचेज करने का, वो आपका डिफीट हो जाता है. सो दैट थिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड और विल डिटरमिन कि वो आपकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, टर्म है, वो कंडीशन है या वारंटी है. और अगर वो कंडीशन होती है और उसकी आपकी नॉन फुलफिलमेंट होती है, द बायर हैज राइट टू सेट असाइड द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. क्लियर रिलेशनशिप. And when he set aside the contract, he can demand back the price as well. Price will be claimed. Right? On the other hand, obligations or terms which are required, they must be performed, but they are not so vital that breach of these will not give buyer a right to end the contract, but only claim damages are called warranty. तो कुछ टर्म्स हो सकती हैं जिसके बिना आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो है उसका पर्पस ही एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर होने का डिफीट हो जाता है. और कुछ टर्म्स ऐसी होती हैं wherein the contract is performed, the vital condition are performed, but some related items are not being fulfilled. So for that thing, the person can claim the damages. I can give one more example here. Say Mr. A has purchased a car and he has also asked for certain accessories in the car. Okay, this is exhausted. Let me take a new page. One more example we can discuss here is that say A has purchased a car wherein he has selected the model, he has selected the color, he has selected what other basic requirements are there, he has selected. Along with the car, he has selected certain kind of accessories which needs to be there. Now, the model of the car and the color of the car which he has selected becomes the condition. And if that model is not available or the color he has selected is not available, then in that particular case, A has the right to set aside the contract, and whatever basic money he has paid or installment he has paid, he has the right to get it back. But when we talk about the accessories, so if there is a category or B category or C category, so say he has selected the accessories of A category, but some of them are not available, then the seller has offered to adjust with the B category of accessories. Now, in this case, if A category accessories are not available, A cannot set aside the contract, but he can claim the difference or the damage. So, suppose that the category A accessories package was for rupees 70,000 and accessories of category B was of rupees 40,000, then in that situation he can claim back the 30,000 difference from the seller. So in this particular situation we have to understand that whether a particular requirement or a particular term is a condition or is a warranty. I can give you another example here. A is passionate about the red color and he has asked for the car to be delivered before 10th of February because it's his wife's birthday and he wants to gift the red color car to her. So, in this particular situation, there are two requirements that car is to be delivered before 10th Feb and car needs to be of red color. Now, in this case, if the seller asks that if you want the car before 10th of Feb, red color is out of stock and it might take little more time, so I can offer you white color. Now, in this case, if red color is the prerequisite or red color is the main purpose or A is not ready to compromise on that color, then in that case, he can set aside the contract. But if he agrees that the color is not that much important, but the date or the car to be delivered before her birthday is important, then in that situation, A can ask that the car to be delivered before 10th of Feb. So this in here, I just want to tell you that whether the particular situation exists as a condition or warranty, it would depend upon the intention of the party at the time of formation of contract. So what is the intention at the time of formation will decide that whether a particular requirement or term exists as a condition or warranty. And if it exists as a condition, the rights will be there as per the condition. If it exists as a warranty, the rights will be available as per the warranty only. Now, when we talk about the definitions given as per section 12 subsection 2 of Sale of Goods Act, so it says that the condition is defined as a stipulation, because we cannot use the word condition and condition again. So here we say condition is a stipulation. Condition is a stipulation or that is essential to the main purpose of the contract, breach of which gives right to treat the contract as repudiated. So ये आपको within law राइट अवेलेबल है कि अगर कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं होती तो आप उस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को सेट असाइड कर सकते हो. सो फॉर माय फ्रेंड्स, दोज हु हैव नॉट अटेंडेड द अर्लियर लेक्चर, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मीन्स legal obligation. Legal obligation means mandatory performance, and if there is no performance, the other person has right to go to court of law to file suit for performance or compensation for non-performance. So in this situation, we are bound, if we have entered into a contract, we are bound to perform our part of promise. But अगर हम उसको perform नहीं करते हैं तो the other party has right to go to court of law. But here in sale of goods act we are saying कि अगर आपकी कंडीशन जिस पर्पस के लिए आपने वो गुड्स परचेज की हैं अगर वो फुलफिल नहीं होता है, then the other party has right to set aside the contract. This permission is given within the provisions of the law itself. Then section 12 subsection 3 defines warranty as a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract. रिक्वायरमेंट तो है उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर, लेकिन वो मेन पर्पस से रिलेटेड नहीं है, उसके सब्सिक्वेंट या कोलेट्रल है. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको कार का एग्जांपल दिया, उसमें मैंने आपको कलर का एग्जांपल दिया, उसमें मैंने आपको टाइम का एग्जांपल दिया, उसमें आपको एक्सेसरीज का एग्जांपल दिया. सो व्हाट इज द इंटेंशन ऑफ द पार्टी एट द टाइम ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो अगर कोई ऐसी कंडीशंस हैं जो आपकी कोलेट्रल है बट रिक्वायर्ड टू बी फुलफिल्ड है, तो उस केस में वो वारंटी कहेंगे. और अगर वो वारंटी फुलफिल नहीं होती, ब्रीच मींस नॉन फुलफिलमेंट, राइट, और नॉन परफॉर्मेंस. तो अगर उस सिचुएशन के अंदर आपकी जो कोलेट्रल रिक्वायरमेंट है वो फुलफिल नहीं होती, then it gives rise to a claim for damages but not to right to reject the goods and to treat the contract as repudiated, right? And section 12(4) talks about whether a stipulation in a contract of sale is a condition or warranty depends in each case on the construction of the contract. So when we talk about case on construction of the contract, so we say what was the intention of parties at the time of formation. जब ए ने कार खरीदी तो क्या उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट डेट थी, that is the date of the birthday of his wife, or the condition was or requirement was of car or a particular model when it is selected. So what was the condition, whether a particular requirement was a condition or a warranty, it would depend upon the intention of the party at the time of formation of the contract, and then it would decide or it would be taken into account the right of the party whether he can set aside the contract or not. तो अगर एक रिक्वायरमेंट कंडीशन है तो ही राइट मिलेगा सेट असाइड करने का, और अगर वो कंडीशन नहीं है, वारंटी है, तो पार्टी को राइट नहीं मिलेगा उस कंडीशन उस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को सेट असाइड करने का. सो इट मींस that whether a stipulation in is a condition or warranty would depend upon circumstances. So it is with intention of the parties is to be seen to assess the relative importance of such each stipulation. तो अगर वो central idea है, main purpose है, तो वो condition हो जाएगी, और अगर वो central idea या main purpose नहीं है तो वो warranty बन जाएगी. So what is the purpose or relative importance of a particular term would decide that the particular term is a condition or warranty. So again we can repeat the same thing कि इस condition जो है वो fundamental nature का होता है, central idea होता है, और उसकी अगर वो नहीं होता तो then in that case the person can set aside the contract and claim the refund of the price. And even if the price is being paid, the buyer has the right to reject the goods and recover the price if paid. But in case of breach of warranty, the buyer must accept the goods and claim the damages for the breach of warranty. Right? Then in continuation, we have to discuss the difference between condition and warranty. So I can take a pause here and I can ask you about these differences. Here I would just like to explain one thing, that is treatment of breach of condition and treatment of breach of warranty. So when we talk about breach of condition, सो ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन मीन्स कि मेन आइडिया जो है वो आपका फुलफिल नहीं हुआ एंड एज अ रिजल्ट यू हैव अ राइट टू सेट असाइड द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. And if we talk about breach of warranty means that related requirements not fulfilled, then you just can claim the damages. So here the law says that contract is entered into with the sweet will of the seller and the buyer, and the contract is entered into for the benefit of the buyer. So if buyer wants, he can waive off the condition, right? The example I have given you about the car, that car, he has asked for the red color and also he need it before 10th of Feb. So if the seller says that the red color is not available before 10th of Feb, then the buyer says, okay, so you give me some other color, or he selects the white color if that is available, but I need it before 10th of Feb only because I want to surprise my wife. So in this situation, the condition is for the buyer's benefit, buyer's sweet will. So if he wants, he can waive off the condition. So this particular difference is कि जो ब्रीच, क्योंकि ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन में आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सेटिसाइड कर लेते हो लेकिन वारंटी में आप सेटिसाइड नहीं कर सकते, तो ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन कैन बी ट्रीटेड एज ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी under some circumstances, but breach of warranty cannot be treated as or considered as breach of contract or condition. तो अगर कंडीशन फुलफिल नहीं हुई तो बायर उसको ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी में कन्वर्ट करके डैमेजेस क्लेम कर सकता है, लेकिन अगर ब्रीच ऑफ वारंटी हुई है तो उसको वो कंडीशन, ब्रीच ऑफ कंडीशन ट्रीट नहीं कर सकता, वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को सेटिसाइड नहीं कर सकता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, फॉर द रेड कलर, the A has paid rupees 20,000 premium, right? So when this particular he consider the other color car, so he can claim the difference price, or this 20,000 is to be claimed back. So only damages or the difference can be taken, but in that particular situation, if the particular there is a breach of warranty or some accessories are not been there in the car, then in that case the we cannot reject the car or we cannot return the car on the condition that warranty is not being fulfilled. So we have to understand that condition अगर fulfill नहीं होती तो उसको breach of warranty की तरह treat कर सकते हैं, लेकिन breach of warranty अगर होता है तो उसको breach of condition treat नहीं कर सकते. This is the important thing. So let me take a pause here and let's discuss or hear the difference from you people, that whether you have understood it till now or not.